Friends, now I'll be covering India-Russia relations. It's a very significant topic, and let us straight away go into the topic. See, Russia in its earlier avatar as Soviet Union was one of the reliable friends of India. It came to India's rescue in 1971, and during the entire period of Cold War, Russia or earlier Soviet Union consistently supported India's stand on Kashmir, right? Any resolution hostile to India was vetoed by Soviet Union in Security Council. But all this changed with the end of Cold War and collapse of Soviet Union, right? So our friendship has been a time tested with Russia, right? Of course, despite this, KGB played a very nasty role inside Indian politics. That's a long story. For that, I suggest you please read Mitrokhin files as to how they managed many politicians in India, how they managed many governments in India and all that. That's a different issue. But fact is that throughout the Cold War period, Soviet Union was a close ally of India, a reliable friend of India, to the extent that in 1971, both India and Soviet Union signed a treaty of 20 years called Indo-Soviet Friendship Treaty. Then, as I said, all this changed after 91, but despite that, let me tell you, there is huge amount of defense cooperation between India and Soviet Union. India and Russia. Now I stand corrected. Soviet Union collapsed in 91. BrahMos cruise missiles program, Russia is helping India. Then it is Russia which has supplied Sukhoi Su-30 planes to India. Then tactical transport aircraft to India. Russia has built nuclear reactors in India, especially the Kandankulam in Tamil Nadu. Cooperation in the field of space technology. First two satellites, namely Aryabhata and Bhaskara, were launched with the Russian help. So it has been a very, as I said, throughout the Cold War period, Russia has been a reliable friend. And even today, let me tell you, Russia, in spite of Soviet Union collapsing and Soviet Union getting split into 16 republics, Russia continues to be the largest country in the world, number one. Why Russia is going to be a very significant country in times to come, right? Secondly, even when oil wells are going to go dry in Gulf countries, Russia will continue to have huge amount of oil deposits and natural gas deposits, right? Third, in times to come, because of global warming, because of environment pollution, there is going to be food shortages. And out of many countries, I think in the whole world, Russia alone has potential to bridge this gap, to supply food to the gap in times to come, because of its vast tracts of land, because of huge size of the country. And fourth, as per Brahmachalani, the future, one of the security experts of India, the future wars will be for water. There is going to be acute shortage of water in many parts of the world, right? And it is in that context, two countries will be exporting water and earning huge amount of foreign exchange in the process. And these two are water surplus countries like Canada and Russia. So for all these reasons, Russia is going to play a significant role in times to come, despite the fact that it is no more a superpower and all that, right? Despite all these shortcomings, Russia is going to be a significant country. And as far as our bilateral relations are concerned, these are the areas where Russia has been extremely helpful to India, right? Even our entire space program was initially held by Russia, whether it is Aryabhata in 70s or Bhaskara. We launched our satellite with the help of Russia. Of course, today we have developed enough technology to launch satellites not only for ourselves but for other countries as well, right? But as I said, there are points of discord. This can occur in any relationship, right? And as I said, that thickness, that warmness between India and Russia started subsiding after the collapse of Soviet Union and end of Cold War, right? What are the reasons of this minor discord between India and Russia? India's growing closeness with USA and COMCASA deal which India signed. I have explained you COMCASA in great detail when I covered India US relations. Please listen to my lecture on that. Then in turn, Russia started becoming closer to Pakistan as well as China. Today China and Russia are trying to reset international relations and create a global order in which America is marginalized, right, with the help of China. But so with this you may get the impression that Russia will always go against India. That's not the case. There are many compelling reasons why Russia will continue to be friendly with India despite opposition from China, right? I'll come to that later. But these are some of the reasons why Russia is no more that close to India as Soviet Union was. Obviously it will change because ground realities have changed, right? Russia becoming close to Pakistan and China. Then Russia also supports One Belt One Road initiative of China, which is quite detrimental to the economic and security interest of India, because not only that, India considers it to be assault on its sovereignty because it passes from Pak occupied Kashmir of Gilgit-Baltistan, right? So, and anyway Russia is supporting that. Then it favors dialogue with Taliban, and India is opposed to any kind of dialogue with Taliban unless and until Taliban itself gives sufficient assurance to India that it will not carry out anti-India activities, which they are already giving. In fact, Taliban has started making right kind of voices, right? So these are some of the points of discord between India and Russia. But as I said, despite having such close relations with China, Russia, when it comes to India, follows a very independent line, and which is quite to the annoyance of China. Let us see how. There are many areas where India and Russia are cooperating despite opposition from China. Sochi informal summit. Modi, our Prime Minister, has spent almost a week there, right? What was this summit? That, well, most of the development in Russia is on the western side, that is European side. Asian side is still large tracts of land are just like that, open land, right? And Russia is expecting countries like India and other countries to invest heavily in that region. And after Sochi summit, India has committed some billions of dollars of investment for that region, right? Then joint tri-services exercises, and Russia conducts this with India quite often. Then Russia has supplied India with Ka-226 helicopters. And the most significant thing between India and Russia is S-400 deal, which India signed despite objections from America. Now, we know we signed our deal 2+2 COMCASA deal with America, and under COMCASA deal, America provides the most sophisticated, most essential and encrypted information. There is exchange of information between defense forces of both the countries. I have explained you the importance of COMCASA to India. But one of the conditions of COMCASA is that India will not import arms from any other country with which America has hostile relations. If India does that, immediately CAATSA will be applied on India. What is CAATSA? What is CAATSA? CAATSA, that is countering American adversaries through sanctions. The moment you violate the terms of COMCASA, right, immediately CAATSA will be applied to you. Despite this threat, India went ahead and signed this deal with Russia. Now question arises, why did India sign this deal? And has America made any exception in case of India? Well, America to date has not categorically said that we will not apply CAATSA on India, right? They are extending, they have exempted India for some time, and they are saying that we will apply this on to India on future. Despite this threat, why India has gone ahead and signed this treaty with Russia is because it is absolutely essential for the security interest of India for various reasons. One reason, this technology Russia has already given it to China, number one. Two, Pakistan and China has far more superior air power than India. Of course, to a great extent that has been neutralized by India getting Rafale from France. Despite that, still, plus this particular weapon S-400 is going to be something like current Kavach for India, right? It will turn out to be a force multiplier for India. How? Because it has a range of 400 miles in which it can destroy any enemy target. It could be ballistic missile, it could be cruise missiles. Of course, whether it can target ICBMs, intercontinental, that is to be seen, but 100% it can neutralize and destroy any target. It could be enemy plane, it could be enemy missile, it could be anything, right? Whether again there is a doubt with regard to stealth bombers, right? But it is said that it is capable of destroying that also. So just imagine how essential it is to the security of the country, right? And its range is not 1-2 kilometers but almost 400 kilometers in the target. Any enemy plane, anything, whether it could be cruise missiles, it could be ordinary missiles, it could be ballistic missiles, it could be anything in such a huge range, right? So it is absolutely essential to India. That is the reason why India has gone ahead and signed this deal with Russia despite opposition from America and threat of CAATSA. Now I tell you why CAATSA will not apply to India despite India signing this deal. Reasons are many. Today America has become one of the largest, India is, the largest source of arms. It is the largest supplier of arms to India today, right? Suppose if America imposes CAATSA, America will lose all that business from India. So that is one aspect which India is leveraging against America. And secondly, please hear my lecture on India-US. Our interests are far more intertwined today in Asia Pacific with regard to terrorism, with regard to many aspects. They are so deep rooted today that I don't think India signing S-400 deal is going to upset that, and America will not do the mistake of imposing CAATSA on India, because the local manufacturer of those arms are going to pressurize American government sufficiently not to apply CAATSA to India. And as I said, added to this, our interest in Asia Pacific and against China are far more intertwined, interlinked for America to take this extreme step of applying CAATSA on India, right? For more details, please please hear my lecture on India-US relations. So, and not only that, especially after this Galwan crisis, there was so much of a pressure on Russia to cancel S-400 deal with India, so much of pressure on one of their close allies, and for many things Russia is dependent on China, right? I'll come to that later, right? Fact is that despite so much of pressure from China, Russia has refused to cancel S-400 deal with India. So this is the importance of S-400, which has such a huge capacity of neutralizing and destroying any of the enemy planes, missiles, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, or anything, right? So, and with the additions of Rafale, I tell you, this is something like current Kavach for Indian defense forces, and it is a huge force multiplier for India, right? So this is between India and Russia relations, right, which despite discord are close and friendly, despite opposition from China, despite opposition from America, despite the threat of Katsa, right? Our relations are growing, but there are minor hiccups also there, which you can already see. I mean, to go back once again, close relations during Cold War and all that I have told you. I have also told you why Russia is going to be a significant country in times to come in global relations, for the simple reason because of its huge oil and natural gas deposits, for its water deposits, and for its huge tracts of land, which alone can ensure food security to the world. So, and good thing is that despite these minor hiccups which I have said, points of discord, India and Russia relations continue to grow, right? With this I conclude. Thanks.